Okay, guys, sorry, and we're gonna resume. Sorry that it cut off in the middle of Hannah answering. What was the last one, Hannah?
Indicated.
Okay, anybody, everybody, do you guys agree with Hannah's answer?
No.
Okay, well, who has another answer?
Me.
Yes, Lucy,
Lucy.
please. What do you have?
I would say subjunctive because the word essential.
Yes, it's showing something that is essential. Bravo. Okay, so the answer is subjunctive. Okay, great job, Lucy. All right. It is subjunctive, okay? Because again, it is showing us something that is, or the sentence is telling us something that is essential or something that is a necessity, okay? That we cannot give up, must happen. All right, so again, here we have subjunctive for the last. Okay, did you guys answer all these with me in your notebooks? You have your answers, you should have checked them. Reem?
Yes. Yes, we did.
Okay, good. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to stop share. This again, I'm going to post it. I'm afraid to post the textbook page because I'm afraid that you guys will study that indicative is asking a question. Please do not. Okay, I'm going to provide the textbook page so you could study the examples of the subjunctive mood. However, please remember that the moods that you're going to be tested on are the ones that I'm sharing with you. This is a fair warning and it's being recorded. Okay, right now. All right, that the moods that we need to understand the four moods: indicative is a fact or an opinion, interrogative is a question, imperative is a command or a request, subjunctive is either a wish, a suggestion, an essential, a necessity, or a condition contrary to fact. Again, examples of all these conditions are stated here to see how these sentences look like. The sentences on the exam are very, very simple and very, very easy. If you answered this review that we did with these questions right now and you got them correct, then you're most likely will have no problem on the exam. Okay, so I'm going to provide this page. However, please do not study that indicative is asking a question. It's not. That would be interrogative. All right. The only thing that we're going to use for indicative is that it expresses a fact or an opinion, and that's it. Imperative is the request, and we added interrogative for a question. Subjunctive is what we said, and we deleted conditional. Okay. So if you also have your study guides available, interrogative, imperative, indicative, subjunctive. Conditional is gone. Please delete it. Okay. All right, so let's save that also. Okay, and I'm going to stop share for a second. And now it's time for me to, now where I need to, I want to take time to revise some Animal Farm. One second, I'm going to pull up my screen. Meanwhile, while we're still, discussing, anybody has any questions? Anything particular that they want me to focus on?
It's in grammar or in literate, in which
Anything that you want. And by the way, literary terms will not be definitions. Okay, to be quite specific with you, you will be reading a comprehension. Okay, that is an article. So you will see the concept of subheadings and headings and text features in it. That's it. Okay, these are it. All right, so you do not need to know them by definition, but you need to know how they look like or how do they appear in your reading. Give me 1 second. Okay, yes. So again, back here. So any questions regarding anything? It doesn't have to be grammar or anything particular. Anything that you would like us, you would like me to focus on with you? Any particular questions or so on? I'm.
So I have a question in the project.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Is the writing thing يعني book
What
in a
is your
bag we should
topic?
write
What is your topic, hon?
book in a bag.
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
There we're supposed to write a paper that is uh, that
Like a
has
key.
the
Like a
explanation.
key. A key.
Uh, do we make it in MLA format?
Yes, because I need to know your
Oh,
names and give it a title and page number and yes, header and footer, everything. Everything. MLA format is always essential.
like an essay.
You can write it as an essay if you want to dedicate a paragraph to each item. You can, if you wanted to create a bulleted list, kind of like an article format kind of thing, a bulleted list, you may. The type of
So I can
presentation
make
is
a
up to
bulleted
you.
list for each item.
You may create a bulleted list for each item, yes, and and next to each item, you're gonna give an explanation of how does that item pertain to the novel and why is it significant and so on. Yes,
Yes, and the deadline is after tomorrow.
that is correct. Are we ready?
Yes, I only have left the writing thing. I just wanted to check if it's MLA format.
Great. Okay. Any other questions?
Miss, I have a question.
Sure.
What will we send you pics while we bring it first day of
What is your
exams? A book in the bag.
Okay, for those who did a book in a bag, of course, this one will require to be seen, unless you create a video and then you, of course, send me the video. It's up to you. But of course, you always have the option. We'll be here in school testing physically on June 20th. So if you want to just send me an image, okay, that the project is done on the 17th, because this is the due date and you still have to abide by the due date, okay? So you can send me just a mere image of its creation for the
Okay.
17th, and then I can of course look at the objects physically on the 20th.
Okay.
Okay, and then
Miss, where should we send it? The pics?
you can send me an email if you need, send it on Messenger. Both are acceptable. I
Okay.
know SMS is, acting up. You guys can't even see the sheets that I'm uploading. So is it going to be efficient enough to upload projects onto? I'm not really sure. If you can't see my sheets, then maybe I won't be able to see your projects, and we don't want to risk any issues in that area. So let's settle with the email. Okay, that's written on the bottom of the weekly plan. Okay, or you can send it to me on my on Messenger. Okay, all right. So now I'm
Miss,
going to yes.
Miss, so the due date for the ones who have the book in a bag is the Sunday, so we can show it to you.
Do you have book in a bag, Hannah?
And yes.
Yes, you can come and show it to me after your
Okay, thank
exam
you.
so that I don't take time from your exam, of course. Okay, you can
I can
drop
show
by.
it to you in the homeroom session.
Let's first see if there will be a homeroom session. I'm not really quite sure, but if yes, if there is a homeroom session and I'm there in the homeroom session, of course you can. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome, hon. All right, so let's look here at these discussion questions are very good ones, okay, that could help you understand what kind of questions may come and open-ended questions, all right, or short answers. Number one, how much work are the animals now doing in chapter 6 and 7? Ahmed,
Miss, can you repeat the question?
how much work are the animals now doing?
Yeah, 1 minute.
Okay, let's return to Ahmed back. Ahmed, I'm going to come back to you. Hannah, you have an answer?
They're doing less work, given the fact that they purchased new machines for the windmill.
Ooh. Okay. Do we agree with Hannah? Are the animals now doing less work that the machines are purchased?
Miss,
No,
can
sorry. I mean, يعني there are some work is less and some work they're working more, but there is machines, yeah, but they're still working. I thought something else.
All right, but just understand. Let's just understand that even if the even when the farm was prospering and machines were being obtained and so on, that did not affect the animals in any way, shape, or form in any type of positivity. Okay, even the windmill, it was used to mill the corn, which only brought on profit to Napoleon and the pigs. Okay, the animals did not benefit from any prosperity or any technological or methods of improvements. Their work was increasing, the load of work was increasing, they were laboring. Okay, on top of it, they had to work in the fields and work on the building, the windmill. They're working on Sundays. Okay, it was quote unquote voluntary work. Okay, and Napoleon had declared those who do not volunteer on Sunday, they will have their rations deducted. So here we're seeing that the labor is definitely increasing. Boxer is working even harder and asking the cockerel to to wake him up. Even it was first, it was 15 minutes, and it was 30 minutes, and then it ended with 45 minutes earlier, so that he could devote much more time to the laborious work of the farm. Okay, so the labor is definitely increasing. So you have all this evidence that you need to provide if this question is showed up on the exam. All right. Sundays becoming now working days. How Napoleon enforced it. Okay, that even when the farm prospered, it was not any benefit to the animals themselves. They even worked harder, and the only profit that came from the windmill was going to the pigs. Okay, so the animals were definitely laboring, especially with the all the offsets and the disadvantages that they had in in building the windmill by breaking the limestone and so on. All right, so the work was increasing. This question you can write a lot about. If I ask you to provide two pieces of evidence, three pieces of evidence, you can write a lot about how the work was increasing. Okay, from Sundays to the limestone, the difficulties of the windmill, to basically even if when the farm took on methods and tools, it didn't benefit the animals whatsoever. Okay, thank you, Hannah. Number two, why does Napoleon decide to engage in trade with neighboring farms? Why? Why? Fatima.
Because certain items such as the perfume oil and dog biscuits are in short supply. So Napoleon decides to sell a stack of hay, and later they will may have to sell some of the hen's eggs.
That's correct. Okay, so here, that is absolutely correct. We see that Napoleon here is going to decide to engage in trade because number one, the first thing that we noticed that they were starving. Okay, they needed to buy some food. All right, that would keep them going. All right, and also as Fatima mentioned, there were some items such as the oil and the dog biscuits and the sugar for Napoleon and the oil for the candles. Okay, and so on. These items they couldn't gather it or gain it, or the dynamite and the dynamos and the machines for the windmills for electricity. All these things they had to engage in trade because they needed to have the money in able to that would enable them to procure it, okay, or to purchase it or to obtain it. Okay, how did the animals react to the idea of humans or animals dealing with humans? Reem.
They didn't like the idea of Napoleon going against the rules of animalism, engaging in trade and dealing with money and dealing with humans.
Great. Okay, they felt a feeling of unease or uncomfortable. All right, this is breaching the rules of animalism. Okay, we are the first rule says anything on two legs is definitely not, it's not good. All right, four legs good, two legs bad. All right, so if we are going to deal with the two like humans, then This is bad. We're breaching this contract of Karl Marx, all right, of old major's words, okay. And how or why did they change their opinion, and what gave them sense of how did they feel when Whimper started to come? What kind of feelings? How did their feelings change, Luji?
Miss, can you repeat?
How did their feelings change when Whimper started to come to the farm?
They witnessed Napoleon standing on, all four legs, and he
Perfect.
was giving instructions to Mr.
Human.
Wimper. يعني يعني هو هو standing
Right.
with two legs.
Exactly. So that gave him a sense of
Pride.
pride. Okay, this is very important to end it with the pride. Okay, so they went from we don't like this, we feel uncomfortable, this is breaching the rules. And then when Wimper started to come on Mondays and take his orders from Napoleon, standing on four legs, and Wimper standing on two, it gave him a sense of pride. Okay, as almost they're the boss, they're the they rule. How is the windmill destroyed? Okay, how is the windmill destroyed, Judy?
By a storm.
Great, by a great
A storm.
wind. Exactly. The windmill was not able to withstand the great wind or the storm of the weather. Okay, so it destroyed the windmill. And of course, we know that Napoleon blamed it on Snowball. Why does Napoleon blame everything on Snowball? Go ahead, Judy.
Because what? Because so the animals could know that he works with Mr. Jones, and he's he works with Mr. Jones, and is like a threat to the animals.
Exactly, because he wants to reinforce this idea that Snowball is number one, an accomplice with Mr. Jones. He is, someone who is accused of treachery. Anything negative that happens is blamed on Snowball to represent this image, this negative image, and to also justify his behavior of chasing him out of Animal Farm. Okay, and to make the animals see why Napoleon did that. Okay, good. Okay, why does Napoleon insist the windmill must be rebuilt immediately? Okay, so first we understand that he was against it, and then now suddenly he is showing that, that this needs to be done. Why does he do that, Hannah?
Miss, may you repeat the question?
Why does Napoleon insist on building the windmill, rebuilding the windmill immediately?
Because he wants to get more money so he can produce more stuff, I think.
Well, we understand that Napoleon was first against it, yes, and he was trying to prove otherwise. Then later we see that he takes credit for being the actual person that came up with it. Why does he insist on rebuilding it? Because if you guys remember, the windmill stood or symbolized all the technological improvements that Russia would go through. All right, and of course here it would offset Russia or give it an advantage over the other nations, and Napoleon understands that. So for him to insist to rebuild the windmill immediately just shows how
He
much
wanted to
he
take
understands
credit.
exactly how much he understands that the windmill will be very beneficial to the farm, and how much he wants to take credit for the for its existence. Exactly. Good. All right. Again, very important for us to know the hens. All right. How many eggs did he? The whole thing with the hens. Ahmed, tell us. Napoleon ordered the eggs. What did he order them with? The hens with?
Can you repeat the question?
Napoleon orders the hens to do something. What was it?
For the eggs.
That yes, exactly. How many eggs?
400 eggs. Lay
Right,
400
and
eggs.
then later it turned into.
None of them will hatch.
First,
So
he
they
asked them
want
to produce 400 eggs, and then the number increased to later. Anyone could say the answer.
600.
600. Great. Okay, so first it was 400 eggs that they had to hatch, and then later he increased it to 600. Tell us a little bit about the hens' reaction, Ahmed. How did they react?
they were growing worse يعني ال conditions on when the farm was growing worse.
How did the hens
Uh,
react to the idea or the order of Napoleon taking 400 eggs from them per week to sell it to neighboring farms?
they were against this يعني opinion.
That's correct. And how did they behave?
1 minute.
Okay. How about Osama? Can you help him, Gizi?
They wanted to go and rebel against this idea.
Exactly. That was the first sign of rebellion ever since Old Majors. Okay. This was the first sign of rebellion against Napoleon ever since Old Major. We need to know that. That is true. Okay. If we see it. And yes.
Didn't they go up to the roof and then they laid the eggs and then Napoleon punished them?
Of course, that's absolutely correct. Yes, Hannah, they decided to act in rebellion, and this is exactly how you need to explain it on the exam. And what you said, all right, that they decided to go up or fly up and hatch their eggs so that their eggs laid on the floor and crashed, or of course scattered on the floor, so that in that way Napoleon would not be able to sell them, all right, or benefit from them because they considered that whatever Napoleon was doing was murder, okay, taking away their babies and so on. Okay, and this is what they did. And how were they punished? Mu'min? How about Mu'min? Mu'min, are you here? Mu'min? Mu'min? Okay. Mu'min, if you're here, honey, and you're not speaking, what's the point?
Miss, can I say?
1 second, I'm sorry. Mu'min, what's going on with you? Do you hear me? Okay, you're unmuted. I need you to speak. Mu'min, we can hear you tapping that mic. You need to say something. What is going on? Okay, Ahmed, go ahead. Tell us how were they punished, the hens?
Because they punished hens by not giving them any food.
Exactly. Okay.
And
They were going to starve them. Okay. The act of starvation. And here we saw that many hens. How many hens died in this process?
9.
Yes, 9 hens died, and the other gave up, and they decided to hatch in their normal nests. And Napoleon took their eggs. Okay. They gave up. All right. They gave in. All right. So again, how does Napoleon react to the rebellion? Ahmed answered it. Why does Napoleon revive the threat of the farm being sabotaged by Snowball? All right. Again, here he keeps telling them that Snowball will come, he's gonna destroy, and so on. He keeps telling them this because if anything happens, he doesn't want it to be blamed for it or to be, showing any type of negligence or any wrongdoing on his behalf. It's always Snowball that did something wrong. All right. The animals confessing to being traitors. We need to understand that this is not something that the animals did willingly. Okay. This is the animals coming forth and, admitting to things that are very weird things that they did. Who admitted or who said that he or she urinated in the drinking pool? Do you guys remember?
The sheep.
Great, Yaluji. Great. The sheep. Okay. And they were executed. All right. Any other confessions you guys remember?
Can I see?
Yes.
They dreamt of Snowball telling them to be with him, I think.
Exactly. They dreamt that Snowball came and told them to do something to Napoleon, I think, of that sort, right? And also one of them killed or a group of animals killed a ram, all right? That was a very devoted animal to Napoleon. All right, so by suffocating him or smothering him in the smoke or something along those lines. So please know these confessions and know that these confessions are not willingly, all right, made, that they're made because they were pushed to do that. And of course, the most important confessions are going to be of the four porkers, okay? And we know that these four porkers were specifically, forced into confession because they were the ones that did what? Why specifically them did they confess to these horrible crimes
they
of
helped Snowball.
Yusuf, say that again.
They helped Snowball يعني to get
Your voice is
innocent.
very far, Yusuf. I can barely hear it.
They helped Snowball. Can you hear me? Yes.
One of their confessions is helping Snowball, yes. Okay, and they admit that Snowball told them that he is indeed a secret agent, okay, of Mr. Jones. But why specifically these four porkers, Hannah?
Miss, can you repeat the question?
What is very specific about these four porkers that make them stand out, to suspect that they may be pushed to these confessions?
I think that they didn't do these confessions. Napoleon just wanted them to say that.
Exactly, but why them, guys? The question is why them? Why is Napoleon, suspicious of these four pigs? Why does he want to get rid of them? In other words, Osama.
Because they're the only smart animals in the farm, so they might counter Napoleon's acts and they might understand.
They're always questioning him. The idea, yes. All right, they're always questioning him. Whenever he makes a rule and they question Napoleon, Snowball's leaving, they also, they were the ones to also, stand and take a stand and say something about why are Sunday meetings canceled? Okay, why are we not debating anymore? Okay, why are we receiving orders from Squealer? Okay, so these four porkers are questioning Napoleon, and Napoleon doesn't want anyone to question him. Okay, so these four porkers specifically, and the hens, okay, that they were supposed to be the ringleaders or the leaders of the rebellion about the, like the Hannah said, about dropping the eggs. Those two groups, the ringleaders or the leaders of the rebellion of the hens, and the four porkers are the ones to first admit or to confess into things that they didn't do. Again, this is his way of getting rid of them because these are suspicious animals. They're questioning me. Okay, they're not really going with the flow. They're not accepting everything I say like the rest of the animals. So he got rid of them through making them do these forced confessions, okay, to make them look like traitors or betrayals of Animal Farm and Napoleon. Therefore, they deserve to be executed publicly in front of the animals, to set an example also for other animals who might even think, or the idea might cross their mind to basically do that to Napoleon. Okay. To this question to tell me what replaced it. Okay, we need to remember that for the exam. Okay, how about we hear from um okay, volunteers. Okay, Judy.
The pieces of England was banned because it was for like a rebellion to encourage the animals for a rebellion, but the rebellion is over. So Napoleon decided to to stop finishing it, and it was replaced with a song called "Comrade Napoleon." Something.
Right. It was
can
a poem written by.
Um, I don't remember.
Who remembers the poem? Hala?
Yes. Was helping Napoleon do the poem Comrade Napoleon.
Say that again.
Squealer was helping Napoleon to write the new song of Comrade Napoleon.
Osama?
It was Minimus.
Right, Minimus, all right, the other pig, the poet, all right, the one that has the ability of writing poems and all that stuff. Okay, he wrote this poem called Comrade Napoleon, that basically, glorified Napoleon, mentioned that he fed their bellies, he kept them happy, he's so great, he's so amazing. the babies, when they first speak, they should utter the first words of Napoleon, okay, or Comrade Napoleon, out of love and appreciation. All right, so Beast of England was abolished or stopped singing because, again, it promoted rebellion, and there's no need for rebellion. And it also encouraged or made them imagine or visualize this beautiful farm where the animals are in charge. And now you guys got they got what they needed. So there's no need to sing Beast of England. Now there's a need to sing Comrade Napoleon. Okay, great. All right, so these are very good short answer questions or open-ended questions that we might encounter on again on the exam. So I hope that you guys took notes while we answered them. Okay, here for chapter 8 and 9. All right, so what is the purpose served by the production figures? Squealer reads the animals. Again, Squealer reads. Can someone tell me about these figures? What is he doing? The
He reads from a long paper that the production of food increased to 300 or 500%.
Great. And what is the purpose of him doing that?
He wants to tell the animals that life before the rebellion must have been worse than now.
Exactly. Okay. Even if they're not living it, they're not really seeing any joy. They're not tasting the joys of food. They're hungry. Okay. But by showing them these numbers, he's making them or misleading them into believing that actually an animal farm is actually producing more than before. Okay. So they are. It's a way of fooling them or misleading them into believing these statistical numbers that that they cannot or have no way of proving wrong. Okay, so they do not remember and they cannot prove it wrong, but they're hearing it from him, so it must be true. Okay, even though what they're going through is total the opposite. Great. Again, of course, here we see that Napoleon is becoming more and more like a typical dictator. This is definitely something that we can elaborate on. All right, again, we can see it in a different form. How is he becoming more and more like a human? Okay, who could tell me, how is he becoming more and more like a human? Hala.
Yes, he isn't seen in public much, and he accompanied by the dogs and a black cockerel marching in front of him, acted as a trumpeter.
Great. Okay, so
And
here we see that he's never seen in public anymore. Okay, he only shows up on these ceremonial events. He's becoming more and more like a human. He's isolated himself in a farmhouse in a room on his own. Okay, we see also he's more like a dictator because he has given himself all this glory. Okay, with the cockerel marching in front of him, and also with the idea of always surrounded by these dogs, okay, acting as a guards and security, okay, to protect him. All right, what else?
and he ate from the Crown Derby dinner service.
Yes, okay, he glorified himself. He ate from very special fancy food, all right, plates and so on. All right, he even had two dogs weigh on him, or was it two pigs? Two dogs.
No, it was dog.
Two dogs weigh on him. All right, again, let's remember, what was the name of the pig that he used to taste his food? And why was he tasting his food anyway?
Pink eye?
Say it again.
Pink eye?
Yes, why? Why was he tasting his food, Hannah? Great.
To see if the
So,
food
so the food that doesn't have poison, to see if the
Is it
food
poison?
has poison.
Right, because a group of animals, I can't recall which ones, but they mentioned that they had they were pushed to basically or motivated to kill Napoleon. All right, so Napoleon became very obnoxious. He became very scared, and then he took the necessary precautions of having Pink Eye taste his food before he eats, and while he sleeps, he had I believe, four dogs guarding each corner, each dog guarding one corner of his bed. Okay. Of course, towards the end, we see that Napoleon has become a total dictator by, of course, holding what was he holding in his trotter? What was he holding in his trotter? Reem? What was he holding in his trotter, Hannah?
بس معلش هو what is trotter?
The trotter is like
I
the pig.
forgot anymore.
Remember, we said hooves are for the horse. The trotter is like the hands of the pig. So what was he holding in his hand?
لا I don't remember.
Zoom.
Miss can I answer?
Mm.
I think it's a whip.
It was a whip. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Yes, it was. Okay, so let's remember that he was holding a whip, and we discussed earlier a few days, maybe a day ago, that these whips were burnt because they were a sign of slavery for animals. Okay, these were the weapons or the implements that humans used to inflict pain on them, and now Napoleon is actually holding one. And also, the pigs that are supervising the animals while they work are also holding whips. Okay, so this is a dictatorship. Okay.
Honestly, I thought you meant before they turn into humans.
Here we're just talking about
Or
how
before
total. Yeah, we're discussing just what is Napoleon doing that's showing him more of a dictator, and also becoming a dictator that he's doing absolutely zero work. That's very important to remember. He's being zero productive. Okay, they're becoming more like humans because again, old Major had described the humans as the only creatures who are parasitical. Okay, they do not consume anything on their own, but they're always taking from others, just like the pigs and the dogs. Okay. Of course, the timber. Okay, the timber, very important to understand everything that has to do with the timber. Okay, the timber essentially was going to be sold to who?
Frederick?
Mm,
No, Pillington, Foxwood.
yes. Okay. Napoleon essentially wanted to sell it to Pilkington. All right. Why did he not want to sell it to Frederick of Pinchfield?
Miss, can I say?
Miss,
Yes.
didn't he sell it to Frederick? Miss,
Yes, Luigi, go ahead.
can you hear me?
Luigi, I cannot hear. There's two people talking at the same time. Luigi, you're answering?
Hannah is asking a question.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Hannah.
My question was, didn't they sell the timber to Frederick?
That's
And
correct.
Frederick didn't give them, I think, the money?
That's right. No, he did. Okay, but we have to understand here that the question is going to ask you to basically tell the story of the entire timber. So Luigi is telling us the details from the beginning. Okay, Luigi, remind me tomorrow to start with this question and review for Animal Farm. I'll see you guys tomorrow for extended review of the remaining words, and then tomorrow we're gonna conduct the revision on our chapter 10. So have your workbooks ready for the entire pronoun thing. Okay, any questions about moods? Shoot me a message, and inshallah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, have a great day. Take care, guys. Bye.